best way I can describe it is you don't realize how intense it is until I feel like you actually do it. You're out there and you're sweating, you're breathing hard. You feel like you're almost going to pass out once you let that cow up and it runs by you, but you kind of get that rush of adrenaline too. So.
This is what we do to take care of the animals. Part of our job is shepherding the herd and making sure that they're healthy and growing them up to where we can feed. This is part of that process.
I can't describe it. There's nothing better.
When you're able to go out and saddle up a horse and ride across these ridges and through these canyons and across these valleys, tending to your livestock and taking care of the land, you are one of the very few persons that have had the opportunity and the privilege of living the cowboy life in a cowboy culture.
From the Chiricahuas to the Winchesters, from Mount Graham to the Swiss Elms, from Aravaipa Canyon to Rucker Canyon, in Wilcox, ranching, cattle, and cowboys has been a way of life for nearly 150 years. Arizona in 1872 was truly the wild, wild west when Colonel Henry Hooker established the Sierra Bonita Ranch. Colonel Hooker found lush grasses and clean water in the shadows of Mount Graham. Now, 150 years later, this iconic ranch is owned and operated by a sixth-generation direct descendant of Colonel Hooker.
What generation?
I'm sixth generation.
Why do you continue that heritage? What's that pull? Why do you do this?
Well, I guess the simple answer would be because it's in my blood. But I think it's a little deeper than that. I think that the draw is an honest way of living, supplying a good product in a healthy way, being able to live a lifestyle that is unencumbered by traffic, by problems that you find in a crowded society that allured me from the very get-go. I'm a pretty private person. I think most of my forefathers were as well. So I think that if I didn't do it, I'd feel that somebody would do something that I didn't approve of my family's blood, sweat, and tears. And this is not my place. This is my family's place. And it's just my turn to take care of it.
The Sierra Bonita was the first ranch established, but it wasn't long before there were many other outfits putting down roots. The 76s, the O-Bar-O, the Rafter X, the Oak Ranch, Rancho Zacatau, the Muleshoe. The cattle industry was here to stay. There is no doubt the ranching way of life can be brutal, and some don't survive. But here today you can find fourth, fifth, and even sixth generation ranchers. In the early days, to be successful, you'd better be making tracks. The cowboy did everything horseback.
We didn't even own a trailer. It was such rough country, and with the creek and everything, if you had to go work a bunch of cattle, you rode and you worked them and you rode home.
It doesn't really matter if it was open range like in the early days or if you have barbed wire fences. When spring arrived, it was time for spring roundup. temperature begins to drop, you can feel a chill in the air, and it's time for fall roundup. You're bringing these cattle back in so that you can cut off those big calves, and that's a good time that you usually trim your cow herd and get ready for market. While the spring and fall works are big events, the working cowboy saddles up every day, sometimes to ride a fence line or just to ride out on top to see his cows.
What's the best part of your job?
I like riding around. I like going and seeing stuff you wouldn't normally get to see horseback. There's his ups and downs, but if I'm a horseback, I'm happy.
Oh, shoot. Just roping and the horses. I really enjoy getting to make horses, you know.
So what makes a good cowboy?
Just somebody that's willing to do it. It's got good work ethics and just an honest, you know, straight up guy.
Someone with a good heart. Someone that knows how to treat things right and not try to just pressure things into everything. Make it do it naturally.
Just determination, grit, you know, finesse, reading cattle, reading horses, and being one with your animal. You know, you got 5 different minds working at once. You got your mind and your horse's mind, and the cow's got its own mind, and your boss has its own mind, and the 2 guys on either side of you have their own mind. So trying to get every, you know, good cowboy just can be in sync with everybody's minds, from the cattle to his horses to boss. You got to be able to just adapt and be adaptable for sure.
Why on earth would you want to cowboy for a living?
I'd rather be horseback. You know, I like to, you know, the bond I get with my horse and the feeling being out on a ridge where, you know, you're by yourself and you might have been one of 20 people ever to be on this mountain. That's what it's all about for me.
Because I love it. I can do anything, yeah, because every day I wake up and get to do what I love. And when I wake up and go saddle my horse and climb on my horse, it don't matter if I had a bad night or bad morning, it just clears your head. Everything just restarts when you swing a leg over a horse in the morning. Something about it.
What's the best part of your job?
Oh, just being out all daily and getting up in the morning and seeing the sunshine, seeing the sun come up.
For 150 years, the cowboy has been at work. Yes, some things have changed, but the basic idea of taking care of the land and your cattle has not. The branding fire has given way to propane or even electric irons, and the large cattle drives to market are no longer needed.
Cattle. You'll see him in a minute. He's in all those big trees. Okay.
You can be young without any concerns, with a future that has not been written, or the family patriarch who has spent a lifetime outdoors taking care of his animals. There is room for everyone: fathers, sons, daughters, and even the neighbor's kid. The cowboy way of life is a heritage that Wilcox is very proud of. The Wilcox Cowboy Hall of Fame recognizes and celebrates the individuals that have defined our community, from the old-timer to the young button. Here, we start them out young.